What would you like me to talk about?
Sir, can we go on where we left off last time, sir?
We want, sir?
Can we go on where we left off last time? Can we go on there?
I said, where did we leave off?
That is, you said there was an alternative to the way we were living. And you said that you wouldn't provide the answers and that we would have to look for them ourselves with your help.
All right, sir. First, may I talk a little bit what I want to talk about, and then we can go on with what you want. I would like to ask a question. What do we mean by learning? We learn mostly from books, printed word, or instructed or told or informed by the educator, who is already chock full of his own particular subject. We learn through hearing, seeing, and also we learn, if I may use the word, through our heart, which is affection, sympathy, generosity. So there are several ways of learning about life, which is a very complex process. And most schools and most educational institutions are concerned only with book knowledge. And that knowledge limits our minds, our brains. And we are only using part of our brain, not the whole of our brain. If you are interested in it, we can go into the whole, into the idea, or into the reality of what is to live or to act with a holistic mind, holistic brain. That is, with the whole of your brain, not with only one small part of it. The small part of it is the accumulated knowledge called learning, from experience, from books, from incidents, from observation, and so on. So learning, apparently, as is now being taught or learned, is limited to a particular subject, to a particular field, scientific, biological, and so on. So is there a learning which is not restricted to a particular point of view? Is there a learning which is not only with the eyes, but also with the hearing, not only with the sensual ears, but listening much more deeply, and learning from your heart, if I can use that word or that sense, which is, as I said, generosity, sympathy, a great deal of affection, consideration, kindliness, great sense of love. When all the three are in complete harmony, working together, that is the holistic or the operation of the whole of the brain. Because most of us are very selfish, concerned with ourselves, concerned about our exams, concerned about our future, concerned about our own particular little problems, concerned about our own success and so on. Most of us are very, very self-centered. You understand that word, self-centered? That is very selfish. And apparently, we seem to find it terribly difficult to move out of that area. Surely, education is not only concerned with the so-called academic side, but also is concerned with the whole development of man, which is your heart, your hearing, your seeing, and learning about yourself, learning what you are, and go through that learning, go beyond yourself. That is surely part of our education, not merely fixed your eyes on a book. There's this vast, beautiful valley, this country, seeing what is happening in this country. Corruption seems to be the way of life, where tribalism is growing more and more, separatism, south against the north, the east against the west, and so on. Learning about what the government is, learning about the way you act, the way you think, the way you live. So all that is part of our learning. And nobody can teach you how to learn about yourself. The psychologists, the psychiatrists, and the philosophers have pointed out what you think you are. So if we follow them, you are following not what you are, but what they think you are. I hope this is clear. So, education is really basically to learn about yourself and your relationship to the world. Your relationship to your brother, to your wife, to your husband, to your sister, to your neighbor, and so on. Because if we don't learn to understand our relationship with each other, we cannot possibly create a new society. And that's part of our education. But also, part of our education to see that we are good human beings. We explain what that word means. So this is the whole process of learning about the world and oneself, and the relationship between yourself and the world. Now, I'll ask you a question. To continue with what we are talking about the other day.
sympathy and affection. I don't understand that.
He's asking, it's important to learn about sympathy, affection, generosity, and all that. And he says, I don't understand what you mean by it. Is it so very difficult to be generous? You have to learn about it. If you have a shirt, extra shirt, will you give it to somebody? No, sir. Quite right. There are all this poverty around you, and you seem to be fairly well off, or your parents are well off, and you have got an extra shirt or extra skirt. Will you give it to somebody who are poorer than you? Have you ever done it? That is, to give it to somebody without asking anything in return, that is generosity.
I have, sir, but I have noticed one thing. Is that it's only at certain times that we are prompted to do this.
Vipan?
I have done it, but I have noticed one thing, that only at certain times are we prompted to do this sort of thing.
He's only generous at certain times.
He says he's prompted only during certain periods to be generous. He's not generous.
That's it. He's not generous all the time. He's generous when it suits him.
I wouldn't say that either.
It doesn't, you won't say that either. Then when are you generous? We're not restricting to him alone. When are you generous? Are you very generous at any time? Huh? When you are happy, you are generous. Is that it? When are you happy? So, are you saying we are only generous when it suits us, really? Right? When it's convenient for us. When we have some old clothes to give away, we are very generous, right?
He's saying no, sir.
Huh?
He's saying no, sir.
Are you saying no? When are you then generous? When are you feeling affectionate, kind, generous, sympathetic? Or do you never feel it? Or only occasionally? Why, sir? When you say occasionally, what do you mean by that word? Rarely. Is it?
Yeah, I can say that.
Huh?
You can say that.
You would say that. That is, once a year.
No time, sir.
No time. When do you feel generous?
So there is when I'm sort of moved by something.
When he's
I
moved
say,
by something.
when you are moved by something. This is a strange phenomenon, isn't it? So, last night, you saw that beautiful dancing. Were you moved by it? Moved in the sense you felt the movement of it. You You felt you could almost dance yourself.
Yes.
Huh? You followed the rhythm, right? What made you do that? You saw the beauty of it, right? The rhythm, the posture, the vitality, the strength of it. And it appealed to you. Your sense of the aesthetic, the beauty was aroused, right? At that moment, would you have given anything? Would you have been, you forgot yourself, didn't you? Huh?
Very nearly did.
Sir, can you be generous without a motive? To give somebody something without a motive?
I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so.
No. So you're not generous. It's only when it suits you. Not you, sir. I'm talking all generally, the whole lot of us. So we neglect totally all that side. The beauty of the land. Sir, may I ask you a question, all of you? You know this country in a state of corruption. Corruption is the way of life here, right? You all agree to that? Right. What are you going to do about it? Will you join that corruption?
I really don't know, sir.
You don't know. But I'm asking you, what will you do? Now think about it, sir. I beg your pardon? In that part of your education, to find out your relationship to this country, which is politically, religiously, economically in a state of corruption.
Not just this country, sir.
What, sir?
Not just this country. There's so many other things happening, like man has interfered with environment and population is growing and then
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
resources are being used up.
I know all that. What will you do about it? What's your responsibility about it? Will you?
Whether I can do anything.
Huh?
I don't even know whether I can do anything about it.
Not. Can you do anything about politics, which is corrupt?
I don't think I can.
You can't. Can you stop the corruption of the other people? You can't, can you? So, will you be responsible not to be corrupt yourself? Huh? You can do that. So you are responsible not to be corrupted.
That way you become selfish again.
What?
That way you become selfish again. When
Like-
you're only
I haven't
She says
understood.
that way you become selfish again.
Ah. That way, the girl says, you become selfish again. That is, would that be selfishness? To say, I will not be part of this corruption?
you start thinking about yourself, sir.
What?
You start thinking about yourself
No.
only.
You may think about yourself, but surely when you see corruption around you, Not to join that corruption is not selfishness.
So, but that is not going to end the corruption.
What?
But that is not going to end the corruption.
Of course not. But you at least are not corrupt. Right? That's something, isn't it?
Sir, but in such a situation, you won't know what is right and what is wrong.
What do you mean what is right?
I mean, you won't know the actions are right actions or not.
Yes, sir. Just listen. You know what corruption is? Do you know what that word means?
I know what it means today.
The word comes from Latin, which means to break. Rompere is to break. You understand? Break something to pieces. Corruption exists as long as you are act fragmentarily. You understand what I've said? No, carefully, I don't think as long as you act contradictorily for yourself. Say one thing and do another. That's corruption. Promise and not keep that promise. That's corruption. Think one thing and do something else. That's corruption. Which means you are fragmented, broken up, self-contradictory. Right? That is corruption. Corruption is that, and also corruption as it's understood is to bribe, cheat, be dishonest. All that is corruption. Now, will you join that group who are corrupt?
I won't like to join it, but I'll join it.
Excuse me, sir. At this stage, one is reminded of an old saying.
What's
You
up?
can't- At this stage, one is reminded of an old saying. If you can't beat them, join them.
That's right. I know this. If you can't beat them, join them.
Sir,
So ultimately,
If you can't lift it, paint it. Now, I'm asking you a very serious question, sir. Because we're all facing that in this country. Where corruption is the way of life. Will you, as an educated person, sympathetic, generous, will you join that? Don't say no or yes. Think about, look at it. Go into it. Because, sir, do you realize one person can do a tremendous lot? You've heard of Hitler, haven't you? Look, one man, what he did. He was a crazy man, but look what he did. So, if you are incorruptible, absolutely, then you stand against the whole current, won't you? Can you? Don't answer something else, I'm asking you.
that life, if you're going to withstand that, it's going to be a very lonely life.
Lead a lonely life. Stick to what you think is right. This is right, not to join the corrupt world. What's that?
That current of corruption is very strong in this country.
I know that, sir. I've said we all have agreed to that. What will you do about it? Will you stand up against it? Isn't it part of your education to find out if you can withstand all that ugliness? You realize, sir, the gurus are corrupt, right? Religion is corrupt, politics is corrupt, our relationship is corrupt, and you are being educated to join all that? You, sir, please answer me. You're all very good at discussing, arguing. Tell me.
I can't say whether I will be corrupt or I can resist corruption or not. But I can say one thing, that I won't be corrupt. That is, I won't do a job which will make me corrupt, which will make me resist corruption. I will take up a job in which I won't be corrupt, as farming.
Will you, as you grow up, will you stand up against all that?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
That, sir, listen, if you say yes, sir, you mean it,
I do.
and stick to it. You may starve, you may have no job.
He said that he will do a job like farming in which there is no corruption and not join the corrupt gang.
So will you become a farmer?
Yes, sir.
That's right, sir.
Corruption among farmers also.
Oh, sir? Of course, sir, of course. Of course. See, we're all so afraid to go against the current, to stand alone, right? Why?
Because deep down in every human being,
Now, not John General, about you.
okay, about me, I'm talking
Yes,
about myself.
yes.
Deep down in me, I've got the feeling that I want to be part of the crowd.
Part of the gang.
Yeah.
So the majority are corrupt. You seem to be the only individual who's not corrupt.
You feel quite secure, sir.
What?
You feel quite secure in that position.
I feel that if you want to go against the crowd, you have to have a lot of mental strength. And that's what the lacking now.
If you have to go against the crowd, you need lot of mental strength, and that is what
Is lacking.
is lacking.
You need a lot of strength to stand up against all this. Will you learn about it? How to have strength to stand against all this? You see, you really want to go with the current, right? So you're all cowards. Yes, sir. Now, sir, you asked the other day if there was an alternative to exams, jobs, and all that. Do you want an alternative? You started that question, some of you. Do you want an alternative? Want to find out? Huh? Yes? Suppose we get 100 acres, and will you learn how to farm, be trained in that, and few of you join together and start farming on your own, will you? You understand my question? We are thinking of getting 100 acres somewhere, where those of you who do not want to join the gang or the corrupt business can go there, learn all about farming, and go out and buy a piece of land, perhaps 2 or 3 of you together, and start farming. Would you undertake that?
Right now, I'm financially dependent on my father.
You are. So tell your father, have the courage, guts to stay with your father. I don't want to go and join this stupid business. I want to go on farming with a few of us. Will you do that? You wanted to, other day you ask what is the alternative. Are you frightened of that too? What?
The alternative is to become a farmer. I mean, the alternative doesn't sound very hopeful.
He's a lawyer. He says if the alternative is to become a farmer, it doesn't sound very hopeful.
I see. Becoming a lawyer is very hopeful. Do you know how many people there are who want to become lawyers? You asked for an alternative the other day. And there is this alternative. Something else other than the usual passing exams, jobs, and stuck for the rest of your life.
But I don't see any security in that job, sir. I don't see any security in that job.
He says there is no security in this job. You mean in farming there's no security?
Yes, sir.
You don't really
Not
mean.
as much as in other family jobs for me.
You don't really mean that.
Hello, sir.
He says there is not enough security in farming as in salaried jobs.
What are you talking about?
Ask a farmer today.
So it all depends. If 2 or 3 of you joined together and bought so many acres or 100 acres, you get a marvelous living out of it.
Excuse me, sir.
Huh?
Excuse me, pardon me for interrupting you, but speaking for myself, I have a natural sort of, what do you say?
Inclination.
No, not that. What I'm saying is that this life seems too good to be true, and naturally I'm cautious of.
What do you mean too good?
That is, I'm getting all that I want.
He means here.
Farming. No, I'm saying farming.
Here.
If we are going to do farming, the life seems too good to be true. I mean, like, I've got. So naturally I get cautious.
What? What do you
He seems to imply that if you took to farming, the life will be too good to be true. He has no challenge.
Oh, there are
I'm not saying
plenty
that,
of
I'm not
chat.
saying that, I'm not saying that.
What do you mean?
So the alternative you've offered, you said that you could get some land and farm it,
Group of you.
a group of us.
Can you once said, get the idea first. Group of you,
Yes.
with your parents' help, after being trained to be good farmers, modern farmers. Buy a piece of land for yourselves, with the help of your parents, they'll give it to you. And work at that. You are completely secure there.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So as a human being, naturally I'm cautious to that because we've come to a stage where everything we are offered has got something else, some strings attached or something.
Oh, there is no string
Not
attached
to
to
this. I'm saying there may not be to this.
What he's saying is skeptical because his experience has been always there's some string attached. He says it's
There
not
is
good.
no string attached. It's your land. You're all frightened old boys. That's what it is. Frightened to move along a different line.
But I dislike farming. Any other alternate?
You dislike farming. Why?
I don't like it.
What do you mean don't like it?
There are still alternatives. You can become a dancer, you can become a musician,
Hello,
you
sir.
can become an artist. You don't have to necessarily become a lawyer because your father is a lawyer.
Not just that, I mean, what's wrong about becoming a
So you can become a photographer, top photographer if you want to. Artist, dancer. Anything you want to make of your life, you can.
Thanks, so I want to become a lawyer.
Oh, go ahead. Join the corruption. Oh, can you one become a politician and not be corrupt?
He says it's possible.
Huh?
He says it's possible to become a lawyer and a politician.
Oh yes, anything is possible. But will you be? Go on, sir.
I think the first thing my father would do is put me in an asylum.
What?
The first thing his father would do would be to put him in an asylum.
Perhaps behind the asylum, you may be the most sane man. You understand, sir? How mad the world is? Preparing for war, right? That's madness, isn't it? Right? It's madness to live in a small community resisting all the other communities. The tribalism is wrong, isn't it? Nationalism is wrong. It's corrupt, destructive. Right? No? So you don't think along these lines. You're just bookish. Your father was a lawyer, you're going to be a lawyer. Your father was a politician, you want to be a politician. You don't say, let's find out a different way of living.
But it's a new experience to me.
Huh?
It's a new experience to me. My becoming a lawyer. It's a new experience to me.
It's a new experience. All right. Murdering is a new experience.
That is one form, that is extremity. I won't indulge in it.
I see. So how do you know law isn't corrupt as it is now? You want to go through that to find out? Possibly. Do you want, wait, will you get drunk to find out what drunkenness is? Will you take drugs? You are, exactly. So you take what you want to do, not what pleases you. Because your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather was a butcher, a lawyer, something or other, you joined.
There is a very interesting joke about the motto of the lawyers. Get on, get honor, get honest.
Oh, all that kind of rot. Go on, sir. You were asking another question the other day. What was it?
Same thing.
Huh?
The alternative. The alternative.
We said so, sir. We were offering you an alternative, something else to do rather than just follow the usual traditional rut for educated people. So-called educated people.
Can't I do two things at a time, sir? Can't
What's
I be
up?
a lawyer as well as photographer?
Huh?
Can't I do two things at a time?
He's saying, couldn't he be a lawyer as well as a photographer? Could he not do two things?
Oh, you can do a lot of things together. But where is your heart in all that? I can be a photographer, a dancer, a lawyer, a politician. What is your main interest? Why are you any of these things? Why are you a lawyer? Seeking justice? Or making money? Huh? Both. Sir, I used to know a man came to see me once, an oldish man, white beard. He was some kind of judge in this country. Listen to what I'm saying, please. After one of the talks, he came to see me. He said, I used to be a judge and passing sentences on what is right. So one morning he woke up and said, I really don't know what is right, what is justice. I must go into it. So he went off into the woods, leaving the family, the good old tradition. And he meditated for 11 years to find out what is justice, what is truth. Will you do that? Of course not. You haven't got the guts to do anything. Wait a minute, let me finish my story. And 11 years after, he came to one of the talks, and he came to see me afterwards. He said, you know, for 11 years, I've been mesmerizing myself, not able to find out what is truth. As an old man, you understand? To have the courage to say, after all these years, I haven't found it. You understand? What else would like to ask questions?
Sir, could we please discuss what is right action?
Huh?
What is right action?
What do you mean by the word right and action? Just think it out, sir. Think it out first. Don't just say anything that comes to your head. Think out, what do you mean by right?
Right now, what I think right is, I compare it with what I think is wrong. And then I say it's right. It's always comparing with something that it is right.
Right. So is that right? So wait, listen carefully. Something comparing. You compare this with that, and you think that's right. Now, this may be wrong, and you compare with that, and your comparison may also be wrong. So that may be not right. So eliminate comparison. Right? Right? Huh?
The world is made up of comparison.
So, I know the world is made up. So I'm 86. I've lived in the world. So don't tell me the world is made up of comparison. I'm asking you.
Sir, but always my thought is marred by comparison.
So to compare, what does that mean? No, you are missing. I won't move from this. I'm asking you, what is right? It must be right under all circumstances, right? It can't vary according to circumstances. Correct? It must be right under all pressure. Right? It must be so accurate, whether it is in this climate or in another climate. It's right under all circumstances, right? So what is that? When you use the right, doesn't it mean precise, right? Accurate, true. Not true according to some ideas, some people, but true according to your own perception, that perception being accurate, logical, sane, rational, right? That you would call, and much more, right. Now, what do you mean by action? Go on, sir. What do you mean by action?
Anything that I do, sir.
Everything that you do is action, right?
A deed, sir. A deed.
So, what you do, does it depend on some future idea? Go on, Chance. Go on.
It depends on the future ideas and your past ideas.
Yes. So, if your action is based on past or future ideas, is that action? You know what action means? The doing. The doing not according to the past or to the future, but the doing. Right? Which is what is happening now. So, is your action based on belief? Is your action the result of some tradition? Is your action dependent on your father, mother? Is your action based on what other people say?
Then it's not a right action.
Huh?
Then you can say it's not a right action.
Of course not. So, right action is action that is accurate, objective, non-personal, right? That's not varying according to circumstances. And action is the doing without the pressure of the past or the future. Find out what that means to live that way.
Sir, but the mind has got memory, sir. So it always, the past is always stored in the memory.
You come up here. What were you saying?
So we have memory, sir. I mean, we can remember things.
Yeah. So your memory, careful what you stick to it. Stick to it. You've said something accurate. Stick to it. That is, all of you, your thinking, your action, your behavior, your relationship is based on memory. You are memory. You are not spiritual, you are not divine, you are not something superior. You are entirely memory. You understand that? You understood? Hold it. Memory means the past, right? Is there an action not based on past, which is memory? Take it out. Lawyer, take it out very carefully. Our action is based on memory. Memory of the past, clouding the present, and the future. That memory is essentially the result of past thoughts past. Now, is there an action which is not the outcome of the past?
Means memory shouldn't come in between.
Don't say should not. Find out. Go into it. Investigate it. Discover for yourself if there is an action that is not based on memory. Find out. Don't ask somebody to tell you what it is. But find out for yourself if there is such action. Or there may be no such action. Right? So find out. Spend time. Think about it. Worry about it. Ask your teacher. Probably he doesn't know it either. So go into it.
So, can thought be said? Can thought be action? So thought is
Memory. Thought is response of memory. Right?
So, but
Wait, listen. First find out.
yeah, I understand.
You've got it?
Yeah.
Thought is experience, knowledge, memory. The response of memory is thought and action. Now, I'm asking, is there an action which is not based on this?
How about thinking?
Thinking itself is the past.
So what about learning?
I'm helping you to learn about this. Find out, take time, take trouble, see if there is such thing as action without all the burden of the past. You understand? This is education because it will make you much more subtle. You understand? Are they all of you asleep?
Sir, you said one more thing you said was eliminate comparison.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Have you been to museums?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Have you seen paintings? Yes. Can you look at one painting without comparing it with other paintings?
That means I have no memory of the first.
No, I'm asking a question. Just listen.
I have never done that.
Do it. Huh? How do you know? Have you tried it? Have you tried it? You're a lawyer. You make a statement which you haven't tried. There is corruption. That is corruption. Saying something without examination, without understanding, without going into it. So, you compare yourself with your brother who is shorter or taller or brighter, more intelligent. Why do you do that? Why do you compare yourself with another who is maybe more clever? Why?
You want to know where you are.
Why? No, Sajid, go into a little more.
It would make me do harder work.
What?
It would make me work harder.
He says it would make me work harder.
Oh, it'll make you work harder because you want to be like that? He may be an idiot, so you work. Wait, so what do you, sir, you are all too quick, you don't get the meaning of all this. When you compare with yourself with your brother who is brighter, in comparison, you think you are not as clever as he is, isn't it? But if you did compare, what would happen? Would you be clever? Would you be dull?
You what you are, sir.
That's just it. You are what you are. Right?
I mean,
Yeah, you have said it, stick to it. You are what you are. Move from there. Not because your brother is smarter.
so, but yet I do compare, sir. I'm asking, why do we compare?
I'm asking you. Because it's part of our tradition. Right? Your school is so, college, university, go to business, climb. So, all that indicates you are not what you are. You never found out for yourself what you are. You're always imitating somebody else. Right? Right, sir? So, you become a second-hand human being, don't you?
How do I find out what am
Huh?
How do I find out what I am?
That's a different question. I'll tell you. But first realize, by comparing yourself with somebody, you never find out what you are. Right? Then ask the question, what are you? Go on, tell me, what are you? BAs?
I don't think so. I mean, you can answer that. I mean, what do you mean by what are you? You again you have to compare with something else.
No, what you said it, what you are. You are what you are.
Yes, sir. I mean, you can't say what you are.
Wait. You said you are what you are.
Yes, sir. That's all.
Now,
about-
what are you? So they say, I'm not only everybody. What are you? Your name, your form, the way you look. Go on. I'm telling you, tell me.
Your thoughts.
Huh?
Your thoughts.
Your thoughts. Huh? Your images about yourself.
My beliefs
That's right.
about God.
Yeah, your beliefs. Go on.
So that means myself at all. I mean, I'm not looking.
Stick to it. You have said something good. For goodness sake, find out. Don't just say something and then go off. You're all these things, aren't you? So you are all these things, aren't you? So are you all these things? Obviously you are. Right? Your name, your form, the way you are, physically, what you have learned, your FA, BA, MA, whatever it is, MAD, right? You're all that, aren't you? That's what you are. You're all that.
And I'm not what I am.
What?
I'm not what I am then. Or is it that I'm not what I'm supposed to be?
What you are supposed to be is also you, that, part of that. You see how you, You are all, your name, your form, your passing examination, BA or whatever it is, you are the tradition, your belief, you are all that.
So why am I that?
What?
Why am I that?
You are that. Not what am I then, you are that.
If I am that, so what?
What?
If I am that, so what?
I'm not saying so what.
I mean, I want to know.
You are that.
Right, I am that. Absolutely.
Now wait a minute. Is it possible for you to go beyond all that?
Very difficult.
Then
Why do you say very difficult?
Too deeply embedded.
What? To embed it?
Thing. I mean, I can't live without comparison. I have to, because otherwise I don't know where I'm sailing, where I'm floating.
You mean by comparing, you feel secure, right? Are you? By comparing one lawyer against another lawyer, is that security?
Not for you, sir.
Huh?
At times you might feel even insecure. It depends. At times when you compare, you might be insecure.
Of course you are. Where you are insecure, you compare. If you are secure, you don't compare. Right? If you are the greatest photographer, as this gentleman is, in India, he is secure. He knows he's top of his profession.
Sir, but he has to live, at the same time he's very insecure. Because he has to live up to that.
No, he's good at his profession.
So
If you're a master carpenter and you're top of that, you're secure.
Everybody can't be master carpenter.
What?
Everybody can't be top of his profession.
she said everybody can't be top of his profession.
So, what are you good at then? What do you want to do then?
Try to be the top.
Huh?
Try to be the top.
You can never be the top, old boy. If you keep on trying, you'll never be the top. But if you're good at something, you understand? Not compare. If you say, wait a minute, if you say, I love to be a carpenter, not you, you all want to be somebody up on top. I want to be a good, first-class carpenter, master carpenter, because I love that. I won't compare myself because I love what I'm doing.
a lawyer. If I don't compare my opponent's arguments, then I'm nowhere.
Oh Lord, don't be a lawyer.
Sir, but, I mean, to do something excellently, you have to be interested in it.
That's
So how will you find out what you're interested in? There's so many things in this world, so how will you find
I know there's so many things in this world. Find out what you are interested in. Put your thoughts there. Don't say, I'm interested in gardening, I'm interested in being a farmer, interested in becoming a rich man, in becoming whatever you want. Find out what it is you deeply want.
I think deeply I want to be secure, totally.
Huh?
Totally, I mean, be secure, sir.
What? Secure physically?
Physically?
Think it out. Think it out. First, physically.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Clothes,
You must
shelter.
have that.
Yes, sir.
You must have clothes, food, and shelter. That's absolutely necessary. Then what's your, go finish with that. What's your interest? What are you interested in? This applies to all of you. For God's sake, listen. What are you interested in?
To have,
What, not interested, what would you love to do for the rest of your life? Everything is open to you. Become a lawyer, politician, a religious bug, a marvelous painter, poet, anything. What is it you want to do? You see, your teachers don't help you in this. Right? Ask, help, demand what is it, find out together, discuss it.
only if you are willing, sir.
Huh?
Only if you are willing.
I'm asking you now, boy.
I don't know what I'm interested in, but I know that my interests keep on changing.
No. I may be, as a young boy, wanting to be a pilot, right? As I go a little older, I say, that's it. I throw that out. Later on, I say, I want to be a businessman. So I keep on. Till I'm dying, I'll never find out. Because you never asked what you love to do. Not compare because because more money or my father wants it or that. What is it you really love to do out of your heart?
Sir, if I want to paint, people call me a fool. Why is that so?
Let them call you a fool. Who cares? If you love something to do, it doesn't matter what people say. Look, I am doing what I love to do, right? And I don't care what people say, it doesn't matter. Because I love this. Do find out. You're young, find out. Give your attention to it. Ask.
So I'm interested in doing something.
What?
I'm interested in doing something. I'm very interested. But at the same time, I can't do it because of responsibility.
You have responsibilities at your age.
I'm saying. So if I say
Have you responsibilities?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
What? Feeding your mother, feeding your father, feeding your brother, feeding your uncle? Do you understand what that word responsibility means? You plant a tree, you are responsible that the tree is protected, watered, looked after, cared for. Right? Have you such a responsibility? Or is it just an idea that you are responsible?
parents have spent a lot of money here and they expect something. Suppose they do something different, they're going to be hurt.
Yes. Your mother and father produced you. So they're responsible for you. But it doesn't mean that you should do exactly what they want them to do, what they want you to do. You have a responsibility for yourself, the way you live.
So how can I possibly go against them when they've...
What, sir?
How can I go against them when they've done so much for me?
Oh, really? Are you serious in saying this?
Serious.
When they have done so much for you, how can you go against them? Right? Aren't you going against them now?
No.
Ah, careful, careful. Aren't you going against them when you're listening to what the speaker is saying? That's just a trick of words, saying I'm responsible because they've spent so much on me. And you're doing something exactly what they don't want you to do. Don't play those kind of tricks, All right, that's enough, isn't it? Right? Right, sir? Will you sit quietly now for a few minutes? Really quiet. Close your eyes. Sit absolutely quiet. All right, sir.